G'day legends. Now, like all of you, I was not that excited about UFC 316. However, after yesterday's media day and just the levels of salt that was unleashed by us on the MMA fans, it was like the entire media day was the saltiest media day we've ever been through. If they were still naming UFC pay-per-views, UFC 316 would be UFC 316, let's get salty with it. You had Kevin Holland, you had Joe Pyfer, you had bloody Juliana Pena. We're going to be going through some of the highlights of these three main characters of UFC 316 and just reveling and enjoying in the bounty that is UFC 316. If Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley aren't going to sell it, it's fine. The rest of the card is doing the job for them. So, we got a lot to get... We've got a lot to get through in today's video. Let us start off with Joe bloody... Let us start off with Joe Salty Man Pyfer, and then we'll get on to Juliana Pena, and then we will get on to bloody Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is still throwing shade at the Rampage Jackson podcast, yeah? Saying that they didn't pay him. They still owe him money. They paid him, but they didn't... They haven't paid him all of his money. They're clipping some of his fees, they are. But anyway, we'll get to Kevin Holland. Let's start off with Joe Salty Man Pyfer. First things first, Joe Pyfer wants to talk to us about fraud checking.
Which is fine. But, you know, that was my first big show, my first big test.
Yeah.
Walked into it not 100%, had some things going on. And
Classic. I don't want to make... I'm not making any excuse. I'm not making any excuses, but, you know, wasn't 100%, had a bad back, had a bad training session, real bad weight cut, you know, no excuses here. Classic stuff.
It wasn't my best performance, but I didn't get rocked, I didn't get dropped, I didn't get submitted, I didn't get fraud checked.
I didn't get fraud checked, okay? I didn't get fraud checked against Jack Hermanson.
So let's redefine what fraud checked is. If anybody got fraud checked, we could say it's Bo Nickel. He got finished on his first loss. I lost a split decision, 3 rounds to 1 or to 2.
Bo Nickel fought a former one double champion. Double champion, former one championship double belt holder. Yeah, Joe, you fought Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson is barely a UFC fighter at this point. He fights maybe once every 18 months, all right? The levels between what you were in there against and what Bo Nickel were against, very different, mate. Very just, you know, accept the loss, move on. You didn't have to bring up the fraud check stuff, but hey, it's Joe Pyfer. What's Joe Pyfer with that? But this isn't all Joe Pyfer does, right? Joe Pyfer now is also going to get into the back and forth that he is having with the Mexican culture ever since he called Mexico a, what was it? That's right, he called Mexico a shithole.
Light a fire under you a little bit, or do you find it amusing?
They can still suck my dick, honestly. That's how I feel. It was not a race statement, which everybody tried to turn it into. Like, I don't like Mexicans and all this shit. I don't like their food. I don't like the fucking country. That's how I feel. I don't think as a professional.
Jesus Christ. I'm not trying to be mean to Mexicans, all right? I don't like their food, and I don't like their fucking country, and that's just how I feel. What, like, all right, you know what? Maybe, like, you're right, dude. Maybe it's not really racist. Like, Mexican isn't a race, you know what I mean? They're an ethnicity, they're a group, they're a bunch of people. But they're like, to cover your tracks, I mean, like, I wasn't saying anything rude. I'm just saying that their food fucking sucks, and their country fucking sucks, and I fucking hate them, and they can suck my fucking dick. Like, oh, right, well, thank you for clarifying, Salty Pyfer. I was worried that you didn't like Mexicans too much. But he doubles down on it. He gives him the old, then why are they coming into my country, brother? You know the thing, right? Like, you know the thing. The thing that happens in every single culture around the world. When you're in a Western country, when you're in Australia, or you're in Canada, or you're in England, or you're in America, you know, your country gets a lot of people from other countries, fleeing from other countries to your country in search of better opportunity. But if you shit talk the country that they came from, even in a sport like that, like here in the UFC, a global sport where it's people from certain countries walking out under a flag, fighting each other, you know, that's sport. That's like cheering for the teams that we have in basketball, in NFL, in Australian rules football, but other, you know, if I bag Essendon Football Club, I'm not calling everyone from Essendon a dirty bar, although You don't know this because you're not from Australia, but everyone that lives in Essendon is a dirty bastard. The point is, it's just like laughing at each other, like just laughing at different football teams. That's what it is in fighting, you know? Laughing at other countries. But when you bag their country, even in a jesty way, they stand up for it. You know, it's like when you see someone bagging someone's little brother. Like, you can't bag him. He's my little brother. I'm the only one that can talk shit about him. That's how immigrants are from other countries. Like, whoa. I knew that my family fled Serbia because it's a second world shithole that got the fuck bombed out of it. But you can't talk shit about Serbia. Only Serbs can talk shit about Serbia. That is the way everybody is about all their ethnic regions around the world. I'll talk shit about my country, thank you very much. I don't need you doing it. But Joe Pyfer gets into that as well.
They try to say you're a racist, or they try to say that you hate people. It's like, whatever. Think what the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, you told Kelvin you almost got robbed there. I mean, it definitely wasn't a good experience.
My coaches and my teammate got fucking stopped by the police because they were trying to shake them down for cash that they didn't have. Like, come on, dude. Mate,
it's an on-the-spot fine. You never played an on-the-spotter? It's an on-the-spot fine, mate. It happens everywhere all over the world. We're not all lucky enough to be from America, mate, where you don't get spot fines.
Like, if we got to talk about fucking why anybody would dispute that it's not the best country, all we have to do is look at how many people have crossed the border and who knows how many fucking years. Like, come on, man. Don't act like it's such a great place. It's ran by gangs and fucking law enforcement's paid off by gangs. It's not that great of a place. Stop fucking coming at my neck. You know, they got two hands on my dick at all times. It's fucking frustrating.
Mate, sorry. No one wants to have two hands on your dick, Salty Man Pyfer. I love that he starts all of this off with, I'm not being mean. I don't hate Mexico. It's just a shithole run by criminals and everyone wants to come into America. Like, Jesus, Pyfer. Jesus, man. And look, that's all that Pyfer does for Mexico. He can only fit in so much Mexican abuse in one day. That's all Pyfer does for that one. But then he gets onto his hairline. Salty Man Pyfer gets onto his hairline. And this, I love. I love a bit of humble bragging from Salty Man Pyfer. He doesn't care about the hairline. I don't care about the hairline, but goddamn does it look good. Check this out.
Fight. My first 5-round fight, so.
Over here. Joe, one of the biggest comebacks in the sports is your hairline. Do a lot of fighters ask you about it because it turned out really well?
I don't know if that's an insult or not.
No, that was a compliment.
Jesus Christ. How much did this dude get? I want to know how much Joe Pyfer got bullied in high school, man, for being a red dude. I'm telling you, he must have been coming up through high school right when that South Park run of episodes was going on of Redheads Don't Have a Soul. Remember that run of South Park episodes? He was coming up in high school during that time because dude is angry. You say one thing, yeah, I don't know if you're being mean to me, motherfucker.
I'm going to remember your motherfucking face now. No, that's it. You're right. It is one of the greatest comebacks, man. This shit is fucking flowing. It's a little thin.
It's flowing.
I probably should.
It's flowing. It's beautiful. It's a little bit thin. I could thicken it up.
Get it a little thicker, but yeah, it looks good. And I'm not somebody that really cares. I even know everybody's like, well, you went to Turkey. It was offered. Me and my coach went. We got it. And it was a great.
That's the point, right? I don't really care. It looks thick. God, it's thick. Could have gotten a little thin. Could have gotten it a little bit thicker. I don't care, though. I don't really care.
Experience afterwards. But yeah, fucking look at this shit, dude.
Look at it. Look how good it looks.
I'm still ugly as fuck, but not as ugly.
He doesn't care, though. I don't really care how it came out. Oh, Pyfer. Thank you, God. Oh, my God. I hope he sleeps. I genuinely hope that he sleeps, Kelvin Gastelum. I need to see more Joe Pyfer press conferences. I need to. I'm the biggest Joe Pyfer fan now. Doesn't matter which direction you take it. Complimenting him, hating him. The dude just... He gets angry over everything. Oh, my God. All right, so that's Joe Pyfer. Done and dusted. Let us move on to Juliana Pena. Now, the big thing, like Juliana Pena, you're gonna get some cope, right? You know it's Juliana Pena time. You're gonna get some cope. That's fine. But what I enjoy so much about Juliana Pena, just by the way, the T-shirt straight away, Juliana Pena. Everyone watches women's sports. Okay. After just doing all the impersonations of Joe Pyfer shitting on Mexicans, I'm not going to touch that grenade that she's got strapped to her chest. The sentence, not the Anyway, the point is, right, why we're listening to Juliana Pena is because she was asked about what she reckons about her bloody teammate, Belal Muhammad. What kind of advice did she give Belal Muhammad after the devastating loss to JDM? Could have been 4-1.
Belal Muhammad after his loss at UFC 315.
I didn't think Belal lost. I watched that fight and I was like, yeah, we got it. And he won. And then when they called it for the other guy, you know, kudos to...
The other guy? His name is Jack Della Maddalena. El Giacomo Della Maddalena, mate. Not the other guy. The other guy. You put some respect on JDM's name, mate. JDM. It's in the fists.
Loss at UFC 315.
I didn't think Belal lost. I watched that fight and I was like, yeah, we got it. And he won. And then when they called it for the other guy, you know, kudos to him. But I thought that Belal won. So How
do you watch that fight and think Belal won? How do you watch that fight? Shut up, Nacho. How do you watch that fight and think that Belal won? 4-1. JDM. Easily. It worries me. It does worry me because now this goes to show that not only is Juliana Pena striking god-awful, but the way that she looks at fights and calculate fights, her fight IQ matches it. No wonder that Juliana Pena ran headfirst into Amanda Nunes's punches while she was swinging her arms out. Again, like the Simpsons back in that. Remember when Bart Simpson was like, I'm just going to start moving forward with my arms swinging out? That's how Juliana Pena strikes. And when you think that Belal Muhammad beat JDM, this shows the mind. This shows the mind of Juliana Pena, where she comes up with that kind of striking technique.
I didn't really give him any pep talk except for the fact that, I'm sorry, my brother, you got robbed. So.
And on another note.
Oh my God, you got robbed. Oh my God. Okay. All right. You got robbed. Belal Muhammad, you got robbed. I'm sorry, you got robbed. That was a robbery. Can't wait to see what she says about the scorecards after Kayla Harrison smushes her for 25 minutes. Let's move on to the next one. Now, you know Kevin Holland is going to give you gold. Let's move on to Kevin Holland. You know Kevin Holland is going to give you absolute gold when you tune into a Kevin Holland interview. All right, so this legend of a reporter brings up how Kevin hasn't been doing too many interviews. And Kevin goes to talk about the Jackson podcast and how the Jackson podcast still owes him money. Check it out.
And why exactly?
Yeah, ever since the Jackson podcast interview, I really don't just do none of that shit anymore. It's like they kind of killed it for everybody.
You killed it for everybody, Kevin. Yeah? 4570, telling Rampage to shut the fuck up, being a, excuse my Australian here, just a cunt in general. Now, I don't mean a legendary cunt, you know? I don't mean like the boys in the live chat, you know, the top cunts. I mean, you were just being a cunt in the American sense of the word. You were being a giant cunt. So not everyone killed the vibe of you doing interviews. You did that with your 4570. Now I'm in my ego.
And speaking of that, they still owe me a couple grand, and they always do a bad job of paying me on the first of the month. They always pay like around like the 10th or something like that. I don't know if they're having a money problem, but they need to do it better.
Shay, little drive-by from Kevin there. A couple of grand from Bear still owes me a couple of grand. Just clipping a little bit off my site fees, are you there?
Their job paying me on time. So, future reference for all you guys that want to do interviews, I charge out the ass now. So, unless you're getting it this week, you ain't getting one.
Could we potentially...
Oh, he's so smug with it now. What happened to old Kevin? What was with that? So unless you're charging it, unless you're charging me for it, you ain't getting an interview. It's like Real Housewives of Kevin Holland with that kind of answer.
I charge out the ass now. So, unless you're getting it this week, you ain't getting one.
Could we potentially...
Fucking hell, Kev. Fucking hell. All right, and then he gets asked by Rampage one more time. We'll just chuck this one in here at the end.
How is your current relationship with Rampage Jackson?
My current relationship with Rampage Jackson? Bro, Rampage Jackson's not in the UFC, is he?
No.
Get off his dick. Thank you.
It just runs away. Not fucking into it, mate. Not into it. What, Rampage Jackson? Peace. I'm out of here. So there you go. UFC 316 going to go down as probably the saltiest lineup of fighters ever. Just bloody hilarious. Actually, bloody hilarious. Like, I'm so happy that we got this run of fighters on this card presenting it this way because it just It helped build my anticipation for it so much more. I can't wait to see what happens after the fight card. Like, I want Pyfer to win. I want to see more Pyfer, for him to tell all the fans to shut the fuck up. I told you I wasn't a fraud. It's going to be bloody great. I want to see Vicente Luque kick the fuck out of Kevin Holland, or the other way around. It doesn't matter at this point. It's bloody hilarious. Juliana Pena, thinking that Bilal Muhammad won that fight. Please, God, please. Let the Kayla Harrison-Juliana Pena fight go to a decision. I beg of you. If the Bilal Muhammad fight was the Bilal Muhammad fight was a robbery, please let Kayla Harrison smush Juliana Pena for 25 minutes. The crash out will be, cinema. Anyway, that's it, boys. That's all for today. G'day. Welcome if you're new around here. My name is Dougie. I make an MMA video every single day of the week, and I try and go live at least 3 times a week. If you want to know when all that happens, hit that notification bell down there, as well as the subscription button, so you know when a new video drops. You know when I go live. Let me know down there in the comments, right? Tier list in the comments. Who's the saltiest of them all? Is it Pyfer? Is it Kevin Holland? You want an interview? You better pay for it. Is it Kevin Holland down there in the comments? Is it Juliana Pena? Everybody watches women's sports. Bilal Muhammad was robbed. Let me know which one was the saltiest down there in the comments. If you're one of the paying members of the channel, thank you guys so much. Your names are up on the next slide. And until then, I'll see you all in the next video. You guys have a good one. Bye.